So one sec again. So good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. Remember, after reading this, the caption of this broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it. To invite your friends and your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Mayegun today, it is brunch time with Mayegun. And thank you so much for joining me. So consider this as the continuation from yesterday's shameless, embarrassing event that took place in Nigeria. A lot of them have been reacting expectedly. And guess what? Their reactions have been coming with, they just brought it to my knowledge now. It has been brought to my knowledge. The Kano State governor, whose states some of these children were kidnapped from 94 days ago, until yesterday, he didn't know that these children were taken from his own state. I mean, they were taken from Zaria, Kaduna. They were taken from Kano, Kano State. Kano, Kaduna. So the Kano State governor came out and said, it has been brought to my knowledge, which means he didn't know that Tinubu's government, Tinubu's regime, kidnapped, tens of children from his states until yesterday. Similarly, in Kaduna, it has been brought to my knowledge that some children were, they didn't know too, including the Attorney General of Nigeria, that is Fagbemi, the APC, Egbetokun lawyer during the Tinubu's tribunal defense. He too came out last night. It has been brought to my notice, to my knowledge, that some children were, similarly, the police IG also came out and said, listen guys, drama apart, all these things, not drama. Those people we took to court, they were not children, they were adults. In fact, some of them have children, married. So don't be deceived. They were okay. There was no problem until their lawyers told them to start acting. According to the police IG, Kayode Egbetokun said, those, what you saw on TV yesterday, they were just drama, they were acting. Then Ladejobi Muyiwa, the police public relation officer, also came out and said, don't get deceived. It was all drama. Those children, those people are not children. They were adults. In fact, in Nigeria, we can charge you to court as long as you are older than 7 years old. The only person we can't charge to court is 7 years old kids. And those ones you saw on TV yesterday, they were not kids. On Twitter, the Arraigned Twitter, this mad lunatic, God knows the mofo that is behind the handle. This is one of the handles they used in spreading their tribal bigotry, ethnic hatred, including religious, division during the election or the selection they had, the charade. So yesterday, in their lunacy, they retweeted this. We give the government and the judiciary 48 hours to release these children and provide them with food, shelter, and medical care, or we shall come out en masse for a peaceful protest. These are part of those who championed the APC, Egbetokun rhetorics, the rhetoric of APC, Egbetokun divisive rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric of APC. This particular handle is one of them on social media. So they were all shocked yesterday, or pretended to be, Because these children, they have been in detention. IRS, the notorious IRS abattoir in Abuja, they have been in Kuje prison for 93 days. Today makes it 94 days. They were not fed. They all look malnourished and all that with what we saw yesterday. So the police IG said, these children, they are not children, they are adults. And we have also had people who have reacted that they do not deserve any pity, especially the typical Nigerians, okay? And some of them, they are obedient too, who probably just feel so angry that when they were trying to save this contraption from Tifnumbu and APC, Egbetokun, that in northern Nigeria, these children, they were acting as adults, registered to vote. Look at their faces. We saw all of this online. You see, all of your reactions are legit. See all these children. In 2023, they were registered as adults so that they could vote. But we all know that these are just the making of the criminal politicians in northern Nigeria, just to make sure that they could use them to what? To rig elections. Underage children were allowed to register in northern Nigeria. They were registered by their clerics. These are children who are not provided any education. They can neither read nor write. If you give, if once they provided them with 500 naira, 1,000 naira, they will be on the queue, and they're not born any INEC official well to try and remove them from voting. You all know that. But you know, Nigeria is already like messed up already. You are already effed up. So, and the APC, Egbetokun will also kind of leverage on that. Rather than people come together to condemn this, people are divided along their own preference line, so to say. And it is to the advantage of Tifnumbu and gang. So, apart from the fact that the deceiver of Nigeria, called the Attorney General of Nigeria, pretended to be shocked, his office, working with the police, they are those prosecuting these people. So according to them, the list they put out, take a look at this. They put list out and they gave these children ages between 14 and 34. So they said they were adults and they will be treated as adults. So the office of the Attorney General of Nigeria is aware of the detention of these children. The police is treating them as adults. A clip from last night, let's start from this, before we get to that of the PPRO. It's all messed up. That contraption.
It's okay, thank you. What actually happens today is that the 76 defendants were brought for arraignment, who were alleged to have participated in this violent uprising against the government in Kano State. What actually baffles me today is that a matter of a sovereign national interest, a situation where a youth of this particular country would organize themselves into a violent protest, calling on an outsider to come and take over power from the government of Nigeria. Otherwise than by constitutional means, this situation will never be tolerated. What actually happened, the details of the ruling is that the matter has been adjourned to January 24 for the substantive hearing of the matter so far. And the court has graciously granted a bail on a very, very stringent conditions, which they are to be remanded in Kuje Correctional Centers, while others are to be remanded in the Boston Trading, pending the hearing of the substantive charge. But the point I want to make, I just want to make a point, please. These people have been in lawful custody of the police for a considerable length of time, and none of them exhibited any sickness. But unfortunately, they were instigated by lawyers. Yes, Garba.
These boys that we brought to the court today, all of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspects standing trial in this case. These boys were arrested in Kaduna and Zaria. Imagine the level we find ourselves now. Do you know how much it costs us to be at this level of the democracy in this country? These young boys are trying to destabilize Nigeria using the Russian flags and other countries, calling on the military to remove our president. Is it fair to even remove the state governors that they don't want democracy again? If you don't like democracy, are we forcing you? You go back home and sit. Everybody is enjoying their fundamental rights. Nobody is abusing their rights. Everybody is enjoying free movement, and everything is moving fine in the country. These boys only for no reason. They started protests, violent protests with the flags, foreign flags, Russian flags. Haba, is that what we want in this country? Don't mind the Defense Council. They will always say something to tarnish the name of Nigerian police. It's not true. In my own case, we filed charge against 43 defendants, and all of them were produced to the court today. All of them are adults. Forget about what they are telling you, that they are small children, this and that. Ask the Defense Council, do they truly know the suspect they are defending?
I want to understand something. The first set that were arraigned this morning, that were granted
I am not in that first case. My case is the second case. My case is the suspect, the defendants there are 43. So don't ask me about any case that I'm not involved. My name, I am Rimam Somte Ezekiel. I'm the Chief Superintendent of
Nuisance Lele.
You get? Even the junior lawyers behind him, they were laughing because it was like a total mockery. So people reacted. And the police, Muyiwa, Ladejobi also, the police PRO, had this to say about this incident.
The use of the word of minor, I don't understand, because those that are not criminally liable under the law, those are the people that are young ones below the age of 7. Once you are more than 7, you can be charged to court. The only thing is that you need to follow certain procedures to do that. But none of them is less than 7. I think the youngest should be 13. The fact that you're a 13-year-old doesn't mean you cannot be charged to court. So anybody, even in the children and young person's act, you can still charge you to court because you are 13-year-old. You can go to court. These are those who actually are leveraged on the end bad governance protest. They hijacked the protest and they are so violent. They are the people that are flying the Russian flags and many foreign flags, which of course is a punishable offense. So we and every custodial facility of the government in Nigeria takes care of the inmates, whether those that they have decided on their cases or those that still are waiting trial. The 76 of them were charged to court, and they have been with us on court order. Anyway, the police has not detained anybody illegally. We have not acted illegally on this case so far. But today we are very surprised. We're taken aback to witness the drama that played out today at the courts when the 76 of them fainted. But we are shocked because nobody has ever reported any ailment or underlying ailments to the police before now. By and large, the court has a discretion to decide, and the court has granted them bail. While before they meet up with the conditions, the bail conditions, I think they should be in the correctional facility. That's the job of the Nigerian Correctional Service. They will take care of them, and when they meet up with their bail condition, they can go. But this will not in any way stop the prosecution.
That is the position of the police. We are so surprised that all of you are surprised that these are not minors. These are adults. The youngest among them is 13, and they are charging them for treason, treasonable felony, an effort to overthrow illegitimate regime of Tinubu. And that is punishable by death, by the way. To them, these malnourished children, they are adults, and they are capable of overthrowing the government in Nigeria, of flying the flag. These are children that are not in any, they can't read nor write. These were the Alimajiri children that the Nigeria police raided. Like in all conscience, right? Real conscience of any human being. They raided these children from the streets just to serve as a deterrent. The people that they claimed protested violently, this or that, at least you would expect to see their image. Compare, Abi. But look at these ones. These are children who can't read, all right? So who gave them the Russian flags? Who brought Russian flags into the protest? Who shared it among them? And did these children know anything about implication of holding a Russian flag, a flag for that matter? So the police believe that these children flying or waving the Russian flag, which there is actually no evidence of them, or again, it is Nigeria. Somebody shared a story. You know what they are doing to them, right? It's called radicalization. Don't worry, Nigeria will pay. I saw one of the image where one of the kids was looking up like, let's see how they do here. Somebody shared a story. The story of how a young, it was actually like a documentary that was done by the Al Jazeera. So a young terrorist was interviewed in Kenya who joined Al-Shabaab. So it was like the young boy said he was on his way home, right? From, from playground or so. And he didn't know that Al-Shabaab, they have detonated a car bomb in Nairobi, in Kenya. So the police, to show that they were working, they were raiding everyone, including that young man. They raided the boy. He spent 10 months in prison until he was finally brought to face a judge, and the judge found him not involved or not guilty because they could not link him to any. He was raided and paraded as a terrorist, a Shabab terrorist. Meanwhile, I was just raided on the road. So when the boy was finally released, he decided, then he's been damaged already. Here you get, he's been damaged psychologically, mentally enough that he was just full of rage, that he wanted revenge. And the only way to have his revenge against the system in Kenya is to go and join the Al-Shabaab. Some people say that's too extreme. The boy has always probably wanted to be a terrorist. High right. You see all these children, they are the abandoned children, failed children. They are the textbook definition of a failed country. Those who looted the money meant for their education, their health care. They are flying private jets up and down. And these children joined the protest, right, of end bad governance, hunger protest, only for them to end up in more mess of states, state double standard or state, there's a name for it. So let's use a sledgehammer to kill a mosquito, kind of, right? Just to prove that we can send a deterrent to others. So now that the country has failed them, the system has failed them, and the country now is punishing them and about to sentence them to death. Possibly not, or they have been locked up for more than 3 months, 94 days in detention. So what do you think the end goal is going to be? Radicalization. So by the time these children are going to come back for all of us, we are going to pay more. Even though me and you, we're probably not part of those who incarcerated them, who is punishing them for this, right? We are not part of those who looted their education. Children that are supposed to be in school, no, they are not. They are on the streets begging. They can neither read nor write. But rather than the state to actually see this as a danger of what we call the sitting on the keg of gunpowder, they doubled down. That's the word I was looking for. They doubled down so that they could use them as scapegoats to others who might want to come together later and say they want to question the government on why they are sort of leading you this way, Abi. So when this finally backfires, we are all going to pay. And when I say we, as long as this contraption continues to exist, we will pay. Here is Prophet Abina, Reverend Buba, El Buba. I have something to say on this too.
Nigerians, do you want to tell me that your humanity are all gone? Look at these little children being paraded or being brought to court. Shame to the judiciary. I really tell you, I'm ashamed of a nation called Nigeria. President Tinubu, I feel the pain of ordinary Nigerians, what they're going through. And if 200 millions of us will sit down and watch what is going on, it's shameful. It's shameful to all of us, Nigerians. With all that is going on in this country, we can watch what happened today in the courts in Abuja. On minors, 12-year, 14-year, 13-year, being charged with treason. And we are all watching. I feel the pain as a father and a grandfather. Or people just crying out that there is suffering and massive suffering in this land. Look at the massive pain people are going through. It has never happened. And you're all sitting down. Is it when the whole land consumes every one? That's when you will all speak up. Shame. Gare ku duka leaders na Arewa, mutanen Arewa. Ku gani yadda aka bar ‘ya'yanmu. Yaran da ya kamata suna kwana a cikin gidansu ko gidajensu. Yau a tashi waye gari a ce wa yana yaran a je ajiye su kamar barayi. Ba kashe mutane suka yi ba. Suna kuka a ji kukansu cewa suna yunwa. Kuma mun zo na shiru muna kallo. To.
And time shall tell. Again, to some of you who have decided to possibly make mockery of this, especially some of you who believes that they deserve it. You have no idea what you are doing. Or maybe you do. It is just that a lot of you are suffering from the trauma of what Nigeria has become to a lot of you. Damaged people. Nigeria is still one country right now, so internally fractured, divided against itself, enough that it is to the advantage of the criminal politicians, especially the APC, Egbetokun. We know that the supposed Arewa leaders, the northern criminal leaders who have been using these children, who denied them education. They denied them, and they dipped their parents into perpetual poverty so that they could keep them under the control for political gain. They are all alive. They are all watching. They have all paid lip services, lip service to the danger of alimajiri